Hello students, in the continuation of last video lipids, today in this video we will study on fatty acids. Fatty acids are organic molecules with a long chain of hydrocarbons. Okay, the molecules that are long chains of lipids with carboxylic acid found in fats and oils and in the cell membrane as a component of phospholipids and glycolipids. This carboxylic acid is an organic acid containing the functional group COOH group. The fatty acids are present in both animal and vegetables and in plants in the form of fats and oils. Fatty acids are classified into two types: saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid. Again, unsaturated fatty acids are classified into monounsaturated fatty acid with a single double bond and polyunsaturated fatty acid with more than one double bond. Fatty acid is a long chain of carbon atoms studded with hydrogen atoms that has an acid group, that is carboxylic acid, at one end, which is water soluble end, and the other end, which is oil soluble, which has a methyl group at the other end. Okay, so these exist in the body as unattached to any other molecule. They are called as free fatty acids, and these fatty acids are attached to glycerol in the groups of three triglycerides are attached to phosphatidic acid molecules called phospholipids. As I told you, saturated, unsaturated and polyunsaturated. Saturated fatty acid with no double bonds, monounsaturated fatty acid with single double bond, and polyunsaturated fatty acid more than one double bond. Again, this is the example where I have shown you the saturated fatty acid without double bonds and unsaturated fatty acid with a double bond in their long hydrocarbon chain. How these fatty acids are named? The IUPAC naming of fatty acids, here we use OIC or OIC in case of saturated fatty acid and enoic enoic acid for unsaturated fatty acid, along with the total number of carbon atoms. For example, if there are two double bonds, it is called dienoic and trienoic for 2 and 3 double bonds. I have given the example of palmitic acid. The tribal name is palmitic acid. The IUPAC name of this, it is hexadecanoic acid. That means first you have to count the number of carbon atoms. Here it is a 16 carbon fatty acid is to 0, that is there is no presence of double bond. So here it is called as hexadecanoic acid. And the stearic acid, it is again the saturated fatty acid, octadecanoic acid, that is it is a 18 carbon fatty acid. 18 is to 0. 0 represents the number of double bonds. The third one, oleic acid, it is 9-octadecanoic acid. First you have to quote the number of carbon atoms and the number of double bonds, and the delta 9 indicates the position of double bond. So similar to that, linoleic acid, it is called 9-12 octadeco, that is decaenoic acid, and linolenic acid 9-12-15 octadecaenoic acid. That is there are presence of 3 double bonds. Here linoleic acid, there are presence of 2 double bonds at the position carbon 9 and carbon 12. In linoleic acid, there are presence of 3 double bond at the position 9, 12 and 15. The continuation of the last slide, the carbon atoms are numbered from the functional group, that is carboxyl carbon, that is taken as a carbon number 1. The carbon atoms adjacent to the carboxyl carbon, then again 2, 3 and 4 are known as like Greek letters also, they can be named alpha, beta, that is gamma carbons respectively, and the terminal carbon is known as omega or N carbon. The symbol delta, it indicates the number and position of the double bonds. Now, delta 9 indicates the double bond between the carbon 9 and carbon 10 of the fatty acid. Omega 9 indicates the double bond is on 9th carbon counting from the omega carbon atom, from the N carbon atom. So here again given the example of oleic acid which I have shown you in the previous slide. So this is the table which represents the trivial name of fatty acids, okay, and their IUPAC name. For example, acetic acid, 2 carbon atom, it is called ethanoic acid, ends with OIC. Like this, butanoic acid, it is called, the common name is butyric acid, number of carbon atoms are 4. The last one I will tell you, that is dodecosanoic acid, that is it is called bentic acid in case of trivial name. It has 22 carbon atoms. And the polyunsaturated fatty acid, you can go through this table, okay, so which are given, which I have listed the common name and their IUPAC name. So here it indicates the number of carbon atom and the position of double bond. What is the difference between fats and oils? The fats which remain solid at room temperature, oils they remain liquid at room temperature. And the fats relatively more saturated. And the oils are unsaturated usually. And the fats relatively have higher melting points. These have lower melting points. And the fats, they are soluble, okay, and they are more stable in soluble in organic solvents and stable. They are also, oils are also soluble in organic solvents and they are less stable. Physical properties of fat and oils. The physical properties, the first one, freshly prepared fats and oils are colorless. They are odorless and tasteless. Any color or taste, if it is present in the oil and fat, it is due to the association with other foreign substance. Example, the yellow color of the body fat or milk. Milk fat is due to the keratin pigments. Example, cow milk. We can observe the slightly yellowish color because of the pigments. Second physical property, fats have the specific gravity less than 1 and therefore they float on water. Third one, fats are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents as ether and benzene. The last one, the melting points of fats are usually low but higher than the solidification point. Coming to the chemical properties of fats and oil, the first one, hydrolysis. So lipids are triacylglycerols if they are hydrolyzed into their constituents by the action of heat or acid, alkali, enzyme, lipase. They undergo hydrolysis to release glycerol and free fatty acid. During their enzymatic and acid hydrolysis, glycerol and free fatty acids are produced. Triacylglycerol, here it is by the action of lipase or acid hydrolysis, leads to the formation of glycerol and free fatty acid. That means hydrolysis of fats and oils leads to the formation of glycerol and free fatty acids. Second chemical property, fats and oils undergo oxidation. Oxidation, when fats or oils are exposed to air, they react with oxygen or water vapor to form short chain carboxylic acids. The short chain acids have volatile and have unpleasant smell and taste. Third chemical property, they undergo rancidity. rancidity is the complete or incomplete oxidation or hydrolysis of fats and oils. When exposed to air, light, moisture, or by bacterial action, results in unpleasant odor and taste. The main reason for rancidity, it may be oxidative rancification. Oxidation of unsaturated fats produces volatile carboxylic acid. So this leads to the formation of unpleasant smell. Or hydrolytic rancification. Here hydrolytic rancification leads to the formation of ester linkage in fats and oils and degradation of oils. Next, hydrolytic rancidity, as I told you, by enzymatic action, it leads to the formation of glycerol and free fatty acids. The next chemical property, it is soponification. Oils and fats, when they react with alkalis, they lead to the formation of glycerol and soap molecule. Iodine value, it expresses the degree of unsaturation of fatty acids in the fat. The amount of iodine absorbed by the fat per 100 gram basis. The higher the iodine value, it indicates the greater the degree of unsaturation. The same reaction I have given you. Fatty acids, when they react with iodine, so they become, that is the number of carbon to carbon double bonds in the fat, it is reduced. The addition of iodine to unsaturated fats can be used to determine the number of carbon to carbon double bonds in the fat. Ester linkage. The ester bonds in the fat can undergo a variety of splitting reactions. Some of these are important in food applications, while others have the other industrial significance. That is glycerol plus fatty acid. So if they undergo esterification with or deesterification, it leads to the formation of triacyl glycerides. Hydrogenation. The addition of hydrogen to unsaturated vegetable oil is used industrially to make margarine. The hydrogenation reduces the number of double bonds in the polysaturated vegetable oils present in the margarine, which causes it to become a solid at room temperature and have a longer shelf life. That means hydrogenation of oils and fats makes them into solids at room temperature. Coming to the conclusion of this video, fatty acids are major components of membranes and storage molecules, and fatty acyl derivatives possess a variety of physiological functions, including post-translational modification of numerous proteins, and these supply energy in the cellular growth at certain stages of life, particularly in infancy, and these are important structural components of highly specialized membrane lipids of the human central nervous system. Thank you for watching.